The Community ICT Hub project was conceptualized as an effort of the e-government program to provide ICT services to citizens. The Ministry of Public Telecommunications has oversight of the project. It also focuses on advancing human development and empowerment and community development through community-based organizations.
The National Data Management Authority, which falls under the purview of the Public Telecommunications Ministry, has established to date 110 ICT hubs across the country. This amount comprises of 67 fully operational hubs, which according to the NDMA means they are furnished with workstations, laptops, and have free internet access. The remaining 43 are labeled operational, having only free internet access, which is available to the public. Providing these hubs with free Wi-Fi represents the first step in them becoming fully operational. The Community ICT Hub project also involves the provision of laptops and internet connectivity. The resultant access to information will transform learning and how residents go about their daily lives. This is in keeping with the government's policy, which focuses on enhancing connectivity and access to the internet. It also includes provision of e-government services for individuals and communities, with particular attention given to hinterland and remote locations and vulnerable groups who may otherwise be excluded. Minister of Public Telecommunications Catherine Hughes at the recently opened Leg 1 ICT Hub expressed satisfaction with not only the pace of the hubs being established, but residents' enthusiasm.
The beauty about the hub is that we are committed to putting it all across Guyana. It's one of those occasions where we're not concentrating only along the coast. We're ensuring that all kinds of communities can have access to the internet. And as I explained to the community here, to the students here, access to the internet allows for so many different positive opportunities in terms of online learning, in terms of students being able to do research, in terms of adults that are brushing up on skills, in terms of any bit of information. There was a gentleman here this afternoon, Mr. Dan Raj, who was talking about, I said to him, well, what would you like to find out about? And he talked about the Toyota company and Toyota cars. And 5 minutes later, one of the girls were able to say that they were in the hub and had about 100 different sites that he could go to get information. So it really brings it brings the world and the body of information closer for citizens of all ages. So we're happy that in Leg 1 we've had community members that have come together, that have actually helped to provide the facility. We know they will look after the safety of the equipment and the care of the equipment. And we've got young people that cut the ribbon and ran in here, and as you can see, are sitting around the computer. So we are excited about what's happening.
Training and capacity building is also a critical focus area of the project, as Minister Hughes explained.
We are actually working now with the Ministry of Education even closer, so that because the Ministry of Education is also doing some training, and then the Ministry of Public Telecommunications has a unit where we are mapping out training that's also going to be related to the specific ICT hubs. So what we're doing is meshing the resources. You never have enough resources for all the training you want to do. But one of the areas that we're focusing on, which I mentioned, is the Girls in ICT area. And I was saying, that we've just launched, we did a call for young girls that wanted to do the coding for girls program. And we were really looking for just 25 girls to get started with, and we have close to 60. So we're having to expand that program. So we're doing training in several areas. We've done training in the Soesdijk area. We've done some training in Region 6. And there's several other parts. And what we're doing is that as we create a hub in a community, we're realizing that we need to make sure that as the hub is available, that people in the community that are going to use the hub that don't have the requisite skills, we target them. So that is what we're working on mapping out this year.
Director of Community Development and Social Management NDMA Philip Walcott said it is working on launching hubs in Barima Winey Region 1, Cayuni Mazaruni Region 7, Pataro Siparuni Region 8, and Upper Takatu Upper Essequibo Region 9.
The total hinterland component is 212. The coast is 214. So the total component we're going to work on is 426. So even though we have done well at 110, we still have a long way to go. That was our 5-year plan. That's our 5-year plan. We're in year 2. Last year we did 80. This year our target is 110. So each year, as we get better at it, we learn all the issues. We actually increase the numbers until we get to the 426. So we're not yet at halfway point, but we have done very well. So we are on target. We actually achieved the target we set ourselves last year. And this quarter, for the first quarter, we achieved 82%. For the first quarter, we achieved 82% of our target. So we're going to push.
Minister Hughes had made this disclosure earlier in the year during an exclusive interview with the Department of Public Information. She noted that it is the goal of the ministry to provide communities there with a certain level of ICT access before year end.
The challenges with Region 1, 7, and 8, as you know, is the remoteness. And unfortunately, there are areas that the private sector has not seen it financially viable to provide service in those areas. And therefore, we are committed that the government will come in and provide more services. But for us, the agenda was, we want to start this process, we want to move rapidly, and therefore it was easier to start along the coastal plain and around areas where there was a facility and an opportunity to bring the technology to the people. In 1, 7, and 8, it takes a little more planning, it takes a lot more funding, but we make a commitment that we're going to get there.
During an outreach in Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo Region 9 in February, Minister Hughes disclosed that residents in hinterland, poor and remote communities will benefit from improved and increased internet access and telecommunication services through the Hinterland e-Services e-Access project, which will be executed under the U.S. $17 million Guyana Red Plus Investment Fund, GRIF. In addition, these communities will also benefit from power supply, as the minister explained to villagers of Ruperty.
We are committed to provide not only the equipment, but the power, because everybody got cell phones that need to be recharged, computers that will need to be recharged, and to access the internet, of course, you have to have the power. So, very briefly, I've tried to give you a vision of the direction we're going with. As you know, we've had radio stations set up in many parts of the hinterland, and we are really working to make sure that we can all communicate better. That you would be able to pick up a phone and be able to call any family you have in another village, or even if they're in Georgetown, or even if they're in some other country. So that's the vision.
Chairman of the National Data Management Authority, FLOYD LEVI, also speaking during the outreach at Ruperty, said that when the e-government service is established in the community, they will have 24-hour internet access with increased bandwidth.
Not only must you make this system available to all members of your community, but the ICT hub must be functioning at all times. Because you never know when someone has an important bit of business or emergency to attend to. As the Minister explained, individuals ought to be able to go to the community ICT hub, do their business, do their educational research, or if there's a health problem and they needed to contact the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, that facility should be available to them.
Plans are also on stream to resuscitate the e-government site located close to the Guyana-Brazil border crossing in an effort to provide internet access to government offices and residents in Region 9.
This site was established to actually connect with any Brazilian company that can offer us internet from the Brazil side. Using that internet connection, we can then offer internet to government offices and NGOs and community ICT hubs here in LETEM. Our intention, the site is not functioning at the moment, it's not been functioning for almost over 3 years. Our intention is to resuscitate the site so we can actually have it work for the purposes that it was originally built for. We also intend to use this position to take internet all the way to the communities in the north of the Ruperty Savannas, onto Toka, Ruperty, Anai, and even as far north as Kurupukari. So what we're doing today is having a feasibility study, the beginnings of a feasibility study. We'll have an engineering team come in afterwards to look at what is required to actually resuscitate the site, and then we will look at the cost of actually getting connections from here, possibly over microwave, all the way to the North Rupununi.
For this year, a number of these community ICT hubs were opened across the country, many in Demerara-Mahaica Region 4. The Mocha Arcadia ICT Hub was opened on February 3, 2018. The center is located in the compound of the Mocha Arcadia Primary School. Much emphasis has been placed on developing the small community of approximately 4,000 persons. The hub is furnished with some 20 laptops, and a team of 12 persons manage and monitor the operations. It was here that Minister Hughes underscored the importance of internet access to entrepreneurship and possible avenues for both the youths and older persons in the community.
There's an array of learning available to you. So I say to the older folks in the community, no matter what you are interested in, imagine that you can better yourselves. You can better your qualifications by using the technology to enhance your own development. If you are a mechanic in the Mocha area and you're repairing cars, you can start to consider a different type of business and service that you can offer your customers, who will be your fellow residents in this area. As many of you know today, a car repairman will say to you, all right, you need new brake pads, you need this car part. He can tell you how much it is. And sometimes, if he's not a good person in terms of looking at additional opportunities, he can give you a long list and say, you gotta get these car parts. Bring the parts back to me. Well, the successful business person that's repairing cars today will go online, will find the car part, will hook up with the post office, who now has a special fast service, a swift service, and you, the customer, he will come to you and say, guess what? I will be able to get your car part here in 4 days or 7 days. And he will put it into your car. You don't have the headache. And all you got to do is find the money to pay him.
Director of Community Development and Social Management, NDMA, Philip Walcott, pointed out that the establishment of a hub is an important milestone. He outlined a number of training programs that will be provided through the e-government unit.
I want you to know that that's not the end of the road. And I let you know that we will be back this year to start rolling out our training program with you. There are 3 aspects of training that we'll be working with you on this year. 1, we will be providing to each monitoring and management committee training in basic management of the equipment. Now, we've learned along the way that some hubs go down simply because a person plugged out the wire or the cord and plugged it into the wrong place. Sometimes all the equipment needed was rebooting. So we are learning that if we equip the management team with some basic troubleshooting knowledge, then that will improve the efficiency of our operations. We want not only to establish hubs, but keep hubs operational. So we will be with you as we roll out that training. The second aspect of our training is that we will train you on managing volunteers. An ICT hub is run by volunteers. But many of the hubs I visit across the country, they talk about the challenges they're having with volunteers. And so we're going to provide training on managing volunteers to enhance your skills to more effectively manage your hubs. And then the third aspect is that as we roll out our e-services program, we will come and provide training so that you will be able to enable those who will come to fill up their forms as we roll out government services online.
Chairman of the Management Committee, Barbara BOYCE, commending the initiative, highlighted the need for individuals with a technological background to help with the ICT hub.
There is need for those individuals with expertise to come on board and help us to guide MOCA to be digitally connected so we can enjoy a good life. The benefits of the hub are safe space, free Wi-Fi, free access to internet services, mentors, consultation and support, desktop publishing services, computer training classes for adults and children.
Establishments of the hubs are also done in collaboration with other agencies. The opening of a community ICT hub in East Rheinveld on January 27, 2018 was a collaborative effort of the government's e-government unit, the United States Agency for International Development USAID, and the Georgetown Mayor and councillors. That hub was the 8th yet to be established along the coast and the 98th that fell under the poor, remote, and the hinterland communities. Director of the NDMA, Philip Walcott, elaborated that this is a part of the wider government program of providing access to government services online, a system currently being put in place to eliminate the long lines at various entities.
The wider government program is really providing access to government services. This year, we will be moving some government services online. And over the next few years, we will be moving more and more government services online. So wherever now you apply for things such as a passport, a birth certificate, for a TIN certificate, driver's license, NIS number, all of those, NIS card, whatever. Ultimately, that process will be an online process in which you will apply online. And once you complete your application and send that in, then you will be given a date and a time to turn up at the government agency to have your particular matter dealt with. We're seeking to remove altogether the need for you to line up in the morning, not knowing what time you'll be served, but you'll be given a date and a time specifically which you should arrive to have your form that you've already sent in processed. Hubs are a part of that process because as we move services online, realize that there are some people who will not have access to what is required to be able to fill up their applications. Some people don't have their own computers or devices, such as phones, tablets, laptops, desktops. Some people don't have access to Wi-Fi, even though they have their devices. Many people I have the opportunity to reach across the country who, while possessing a phone given by some person or the other, unable to put on a data plan, and even if they do, they're unable to maintain it. And then the third category, of course, those who don't have any knowledge. An ICT hub is therefore designed to deal with those three issues.
The Community Enhancement Committee CEC Chair, Wendy Collins, expressed gratitude and expounded on the work of the body in the development of East Rheinveld.
The CEC has a presence here since last June, and we have embarked on a number of activities. Currently, we have our after school program running, and we are overseeing that. We also have family counselors coming on board because we have interest in what's happening in the home, what's happening in our families. Also, we have our workforce development initiatives. Also, we have lots of youth engagement sessions. And I want to say that a number of initiatives are being in place, and I just want to invite all of you who are here. We reach here every second and fourth Monday of the month from 5:30. We spend like 2 hours here, and if you have great ideas, we want to encourage you to come and join us, and we can explore your ideas for the enhancement of East Rhineville community. And community really is about people. And we have real interest in our children and our youth, all of our members, also the adults and all of our citizens here, all the residents. So I want to say that this is a very good initiative that we also say that we want to take it on board with us, and we will be overseeing this initiative also.
The government of Guyana is constantly seeking to develop both human and infrastructural capabilities throughout the country. Even as this is being done, the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, through the National Data Management Authority, is continuing the drive to establish ICT hubs across the length and breadth of Guyana. In 2017, a number of these hubs were established along the east coast of Demerara.
The Melanie Damishana ICT hub on the east coast of Demerara was opened on November 3, 2017. NDMA Director Philip Walcott, who officially declared the center opened, highlighted the importance of the hub for residents. He explained that the services not only aim to benefit students in the community but also adults, since the government aims to digitize all of its services.
You will save money, you will save time and energy. The system will be more efficient and effective. We're going to be doing that at a national level. We're going to be doing this at the regional level. All the RDC offices will be linked. We're going to digitize all the records of regional offices so that when you go to your RDC, they'll be able to respond to you in a much more effective manner. And then we'll be digitizing the records of the NDCs to ensure that as you pay your taxes at rates at NDC's offices, that their records are improved, and they can, if you want a certificate of taxes that you've paid from 1936 to, if you want to find out about information on piece of land and who has paid that, who owned that, as we digitize the records of local government offices, we'll be able to make services more effective and efficient.
One student, Janasha Alstrom, said she is elated since the hub will allow for services previously lacking within the community.
I think that it's a great opportunity to all the less fortunate people in Melanie that can't afford the stuff that they're offering here. So I think it's pretty great, and it will benefit us as students that we won't have to pay like as much money to print or pay for time and stuff to do our SBAs. So I think it's a really great opportunity for everyone in Melanie.
Residents of Better Hope on the east coast of Demerara were also beneficiaries of an ICT hub and a library. The two facilities were commissioned on September 29, 2017 at the Better Hope Community Center ground in collaboration with the Ministry of Telecommunications and the Neighborhood Democratic Council. MARLON PEARSON, Social Management Administrator of the NDMA, while noting that the hub was the first to be commissioned on the East Coast, said it will serve to bring government services to the people of the community.
In all that we did, we agree we have put our best foot forward. But being the best is not so important. Doing the best is all that matters. I want to say that again because I'm building on something here that citizens need to recognize that as a government, and more so particularly in the information and communication business, you need to be a responsible citizen. We do not expect at all costs you will give and keep doing. We expect that you will not only give, but you will also make stuff happen that you can share. Again, being the best is not so important. Some of us run the race, or we win. That's the only thing that matters, winning. In some instances, some people turn back to help those people that have fallen along the way. Doing what's best, that's all that matters. So, in my appeal to your social side, we want to make it clear that although we are highlighting to you, citizens and residents, that the government is offering the service, it is incumbent upon you to use it wisely. Advise your kids or children to use it wisely.
The community ICT hubs, according to the e-government unit, serve as lens through which Guyanese can have a glimpse of the near future, transforming their lives in many ways.
You have been watching another edition of InfoHub In-Depth, where we focus on the government's Community ICT Hub project. Thanks for watching, and please join us again next week.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.